either you are suggesting, yeah, I know the problem. I don't really know what you are suggesting. That's the
Mhm.
issue that I want us to discuss. So you are suggesting what exactly?
Mhm.
What were you suggesting?
So let's say that right now, because like I think most people don't really understand how registration work.
Okay.
So when they thought that when they fill out a registration form, they assume there's a registration form stored somewhere.
Okay.
Actually, that's not the case.
All right.
Instead, it would go and process and create a new record if there's no existing record identified.
Mm-hmm.
So when people saying that, oh, what do you mean that when my project team fill out all this registration form, why can you tell me which patient actually for, and have my registration form filled out and in the system? I would not be able to tell. Can
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you just collect all that information, there's no way you can say this information is coming from Mozilla, this one is coming from HCT.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So you are suggesting something to solve that problem. What was it exactly? I didn't really understand it.
So that means like, okay, we can still use the same approach as currently, go ahead and create a new record if it's not existed. If the algorithm say that, oh, there's no existing record in the system. But in addition to insert a new encounter in the encounter table, because in the encounter table you can capture the encounter type and also the form ID. So from that you can tell this this registration is collected through which process. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Or if you guys can come up with other options, I'm open to it. But that's the simplest thing I can think of.
So you're saying if you want to tell how a particular patient has been registered, you're going to have to search through the encounters?
So you go to the encounter table, you pretty much just search the registration form ID,
Uh-huh.
and then that's how you can tell how many clients has been filled out the particular registration form.
Okay, so you want us to create an encounter along with the registration information from Mozilla, right?
The doesn't matter it's Uzima, PCT, or just regular HIV clinic, the usual care. You still need to create a patient record in the system if it's not exist, correct? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't change anything. The
Yeah.
only difference is that now we're collecting an additional piece of data that when there's a mobile through like any registration through non-dashboard creation,
Yeah.
it create an encounter in the encounter table so that it has an additional proxy for you to tell that, hey, I know, from here, I know like X number of this 10 patient actually um, have like, let's say the Uzima mobile form, let's say that.
Yeah, I understand completely what you want to achieve, but what I'm trying to understand is how you want to achieve it. So,
That's why I want to start the conversation, the
okay,
discussions.
okay,
I just throw in one suggestions, proposed solution, but
yeah,
I'm open to other suggestions.
okay.
There might be like a better way to do it that I'm not aware of, or you guys maybe have other better idea. You know what I mean? That's why because it's really like implementation specific. It has nothing to do with OpenMRS core because this is more like a implementation decision. So that's why I think we need to discuss, in AMPATH.
No, actually, it can have everything to do with the OpenMRS core. The thing is, ideally, the way they conceived the system, the OpenMRS system, is the assumption was patients were going usually to be registered via the web interface. Okay, but that is not the case anymore. So
It
maybe
evolved,
there's a
yeah.
need to incorporate into the system, the core system itself, to indicate that what method has been used to register a particular patient. So it will
hmm
be related to the core as well.
Because I can see some advantage to this
Yeah.
because um, let's say that we can do some studies and analysis to compare let's say demographic data collected through regular registration versus mobile mechanism.
Yeah.
To to see how and then we can do like gold standard like chart review and things like that, just to see which one is more accurate and why it's more accurate, and then how we can improve. I see some advantages to do this because right now we are not able to answer the questions.
Yeah, I understand completely what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so Simon, he's working on Mozilla, right? You're here already, Simon.
Hey, Simon.
Hi guys.
Yeah, hi.
You make me feel like Simon actually just walked into your room. Because I, for some reason, I still thought that you're in outdoor. I don't know why.
Hi guys.
Hey, what do you mean me?
Yes, I'm
okay.
just tired. I'm just confused. Sorry.
All right. Yeah, hi. So, guys, when we were waiting for you, we just kind of started chatting about the problem that I reported via the email. And maybe Simon, you are already aware of this problem. Like I think some people wants to know the number of patients registered via Mozilla registration form, but it's not possible currently because when you save those patients into the system, you don't actually indicate anywhere that these patients have been registered via Mozilla. So basically, she's trying to suggest the ways of accomplishing that in the system. And one of the things she said is when you're registering a patient via the Mozilla registration form, then you should create an encounter indicating that this patient has been registered via the Mozilla. Is one of the solutions. So we can think about that and give new ideas or just discuss about what is the best approach to it.
So right now, it's not really super urgent for us. I just want to bring it up because I think it's going to be very important for us to get ready once PCT is ready to send data directly into AMRS.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much the same for the same reason,
Yeah. Okay, so
someone might argue, let me just throw it back, let me just play the devil advocate here. So someone might also argue that, hey, if like a patient record got registered and then if there is another mobile form encounter fill out, you can make the assumption that that record is created by the mobile, but then it creates lots of logic assumptions after that.
Yep.
So, yeah, so I just want to point, I mean, some people might argue, but for people who hasn't really done a lot of like data stuff, they might forget that how complicated it might be, and also those assumptions might affect it's not that accurate. I just want to point it out.
Actually, I was thinking exactly about that. I just didn't want to bring it up.
Good.
I just didn't want to bring it up yet. But I was thinking like, okay, so if another patient and you use the form, then you might assume they've been registered by Mozilla, when actually it is not true. Yeah.
What if we act like Mozilla is a program and enroll patients who are registered through Mozilla through the program function and identify them that way?
So before we go on discussing about this, guys, welcome to the call. And I think you have Ada, me, and Sarah there, and Alfayo. I hope Simon is there, and also Ellie, maybe Malakwen, right, guys?
No, Malakwen is not here.
Ah, okay. So it's just you and Alfayo and Ellie?
And Felix, an intern.
Ah, that guy from, what's that program again? What is that name of the program he's coming from? I'm sorry, I forgot the name.
No, he's an intern. He's an intern.
Yeah, he's an intern, but he's an intern for a certain program there.
No, not the one Jonathan was talking about.
Yeah, okay, there's another one. Okay.
Yeah, another one.
Okay, hi, Felix.
Hi, Felix.
Unless really I want to know the MTRH the program, it's called MTRH program.
Okay, thank you, Ellie. Thank you for the information. Yeah, so we started in the middle. We have this agenda. It's one of the agenda, the Mozilla registration form. We have other agendas. We can discuss about this for some time and see if we are getting anywhere, and then we'll proceed with other things. So yeah, so Sarah, you can go ahead.
I was just brainstorming that we could treat Muzima like a program, and patients who are registered through Muzima would also be registered in the program, I'm making air quotes that you can't see, of Muzima, but that all depends on how strictly we like to define our programs, because if we have very strict definitions of what a program is, that could be problematic. But if we don't, if it's kind of loosey-goosey and it's whatever meets our needs, then that would be an easy way to identify all the patients enrolled in Muzima would be enrolled in the Muzima program. Again, air quotes.
Yeah, so that will just be. Do you think that is semantically correct to put them in a program called Muzima, or we can just use it as a workaround for now?
Right, it would be a workaround. That's hence the air quotes that you can't see. Because I wouldn't call Muzima necessarily a program, but it would be a way to identify the patients in our database.
Okay. Ed, what do you think? I think you understand the programs better than most of us here.
I spent quite a bit of time on program workflow before, and it doesn't really work the way it's supposed to be, and that's why we stopped further investigating and putting energy on that. I know there's some discussions going on saying that there might be some work going to happen, but not until then. I don't think I would consider that would be a good option for now.
All right.
And that's exactly the very same reason why we have Simon to work on the expanded cohort feature, because the program workflow doesn't really support what we really need right now.
Okay, program workflow. But what Sarah is suggesting is not really a program per se. It's just something of tagging the patients as they are belonging to Muzima. Like, okay, we will be violating the use of the program just to say that this patient has been registered via Muzima registration form. I'm not really quite on board with the idea, but maybe it could be the best way we have right now.
But how do you capture that and label it now, then, if you don't use the program workflow? I thought that's what Sarah was.
Yeah, so you're saying it's not possible to create a program calling it Muzima, and when you're registering anything?
It's not possible. I'm just saying that the program workflow features are not really working as it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that's why we did not pursue in further, going down this route, because there's quite a lot of work need to be done to be ready for us.
Okay.
It's not about like definition. It's more about technical.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can use that, it seems, or at least according to Ada, it's not usable right now. So in ideas right now, what we have is using an encounter.
What I'm suggesting right now, one of the possible solution is all the mobile registration form should be also insert an encounter in the encounter table. But I would like to hear from Raphael. Is he on the call?
Yeah, I think it is.
How it's currently working in PHCT. I would like to hear, how PHCT is working, handling the PHCT registration form.
Maybe these guys are gone. Are they still there?
That was meant for Alpha.
Yeah, that's meant for Alpha.
He's in the other building. I think he's told me his computer is somehow having issues. I think he's working on it now.
Oh, is he coming anytime soon, maybe?
He should be.
Okay.
He's the one calling, actually.
So basically, I just want to get some ideas from the group, and then so that we can throw in more, proposed solutions, and then as the whole team, we can make a decision which one, we decide to pick. That's pretty much. And
Okay, Eda, thank you. Yeah, but I think with PHCP, they're not really tagging the patients because they have their own independent servers. So when they
Yes, you know, on the email, that's why I said they can comfortably make the assumption that everyone, you know, collect through mobile because they are standalone, you know what I mean? So, but then it's true as you know, as of now. However, once those records migrated to AMS production, it's no longer true, right?
Yep.
Problem. Yep.
Okay, so you're saying we have to find a solution that is going to cater for all these other projects. We need to be able to tell, okay, these patients are coming from PHCT, these patients are coming from Mozilla registration, these patients are coming from ABC program in the future. That's what you're saying, right?
Mm-hmm. Also, it would be interesting to, you know, interesting and also might be helpful in the sense that, let's say later on when we run the record deduplication program, when we do the merging and then, you know, doing the manual review and do the records merging, we can also collect the data saying that, you know, information collected through, you know, mechanism A is more accurate than through mechanism B, and then so that we can focus on the resources on how we can improve for, you know, a different mechanism B when they collect the data. You know what I mean? I can see a lot of advantages doing that.
Yeah.
But again, it doesn't have to be insert a new encounter in the encounter table if there's like a better option.
Yeah, I completely understand what you're trying to say. You're basically saying that we should find a solution that is best for this kind of scenario.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I was thinking of something. Okay. What if we create a person attribute?
So even you create a person attribute,
Yeah.
and can you tell, because like let's say that there's they merge two records, let's say that,
Okay.
and then which one you're going to keep, and then it has the same problem.
Which one, like, okay, now you're saying if the patient has been registered by two different programs?
Yeah.
With that, okay, now I think in that case,
And
okay, go ahead.
yeah, and yeah, that's what I said. I cannot think, you know, right now I cannot really think of other options, but I'm open for anything. But it's a good one to discuss. Yeah.
Okay, I
So,
see what you're saying,
Yeah.
Ada, about the person attribute. What if they were registered by two different ways, and which one do we keep? But what if instead of having the person attribute being how were they registered and then a list, what if the person attribute was were they registered by Muzima? And then, so basically it's a yes or no, registered by Muzima or not registered by Muzima. It doesn't solve the problem for finding other people registered other ways, but it would tell us who's registered through Muzima.
Yeah, but yeah, that's we could use that just for Mozilla, but because we are also planning to migrate data from PHCT and HCT to AMRS, then maybe we should think of a general solution to solve all those problems.
Right, it's not scalable. It's definitely a workaround that's not scalable. But and the creating the encounter, Ada's original idea is the one that seems most scalable. But if we're brainstorming all the different ways that we could do this, we don't have to throw that one out.
So
yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So just another piece of information. Even though like PXCT right now they're using ODK, but very soon they also will use Uzima. So Uzima just like a mobile application, right? Just to collect the data, and then from that this umbrella, it's going to be used by different programs underneath that. So yes, it's good to know like through mobile, through Uzima, and then there's one policy, and then we also need to know that which program or project team that collect this data. So the reason I suggest the Encounter option is that it gives me more metadata to further drill down to see not just this is collected through Uzima, but also for different programs. So that let's say that if I see there's a lot of issues with the data collected by, let's say that oncology, I can commonly go and say that, hey, let's look at your data, this subgroup, this subset from that. Without that, another proxy is really hard for me to look at it as a brick umbrella. I don't know which team I should work closely with a little bit further. That's another reason why I suggest the Encounter option. So I just want to give some background information, especially PHCT. Later this year, they plan to use Uzima as well. Boniface, is that a correct statement?
Maybe Boniface is not there.
I think he's on mute.
Yeah, Boniface, you're on mute. I'm going to unmute him. I can't. Okay, so there are so many options, and I didn't get completely the reasons for using an encounter, but for the same reasons, you can still keep the encounter even though you have another method of identifying whether these people are coming from Mozilla registration form or they are coming from the web interface registration. You can still have the encounter and the whatever method you use if it is a personal attribute. And regarding the personal attribute, when you said when you are merging like 3 or 2 records, I was thinking, okay, if you have 2 records, most likely you'll have they will be registered on different dates. Like one will be coming before the other. So why don't you take the earliest and saying, okay, this guy was registered via the web interface, because if the web interface was the earlier method that was used, basically this guy was already registered. The Mozilla just assumed the guy wasn't there, while actually the guy was already there.
This happened also that, sometimes let's say that on the field, let's say the field worker actually reach out to the client,
yeah,
and they create like a new record, and because of the connection issues, they did not sync the data, more frequent than on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
And then because of the condition that the field worker identified the client might be already got referred to the clinic, the very next day. And then the client would go to the clinic, and then because the clinic will create a new record, that's the reason. That's another reason why, for this kind of like situation, that why through the mobile they create a new record, but then actually there's a record there, but just because of the lag time of syncing the data.
Yeah. So in that case, then the mobile registration form will win. We will say that this person has been registered via mobile, because the mobile registration, when the data came in, the data will be earlier than the one on the web interface, right?
Yeah. So yeah. So the good thing with Uzima is that we still have every message archive. So in case we need it, we can still go back retrospectively to reprocess those messages, so that we can still insert those encounters if that's the route that we decide to to go. Just want to FYI. Yeah.
Yeah, that route, you can go that route, but it is very crude and it's not very easy method to use. So basically, we still need to find some way of. It's good actually to have a way of differentiating how a certain patient got into the system. It's very nice actually.
I think it's important as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important, and maybe it is something that should be built into the core, although you don't think so. But the reason we don't have that in the core is because it was just assumed that people are coming in through only one method. But now it's not the case anymore. People are coming in through REST. You can send a REST call and submit patients.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with all these methods of getting people into the system, we should know actually how did this particular record, how was it created? It's very important to know. Because, yeah, you can have any problem, and the way to troubleshoot anything is to know the source. So if you don't know where it came from, it's very difficult to hear. So
yeah, you know, I can see this probably similar thing for, you know, once you guys roll out the point of care.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to compare the data quality as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different comparison and studies. Yeah.
Yeah. So Ada, we have all these options, and I think it would be nice if we can. I could do that. I can shoot an email to the dev list and ask if there's any way people are doing that. You know.
Yeah, I would appreciate if you can take the technical lead, Willa. Haha. I know what route you're trying to go to.
Okay. I'll give this to Simon. Simon will take.
Simon is not like, Simon knows me too.
Yeah, Simon will take a technical lead, right?
Well, I think, well, you take it. I still don't understand how things are processed within OpenMRS.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what. That's an opportunity for you to understand how things are processed in OpenMRS. And if you have any question, you can always come to me. Anyway, we can discuss about this and see how we are going to do it. I'm not saying you should take it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all right. I mean, I can take it. We just have a lot of other things to do, and we'll find the best way to handle this.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, is Alpha already there?
No, he's not. He told me he's trying to fix his machine. I think he has some issues. He was working with the, I think, FCT guys. So he told me he's trying to configure his machine so that he can join from there.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually we join through my laptop, but now he's not here.
Okay, so we have Mozilla. That's done. We can come back to that if we don't get if Rafael doesn't get on the call in time. We have remote form entry, that is Elfayo. By the way, I think he did a great job there, so you tell him we appreciate his work, Simon. Radiology result error investigation and why forward. So we have this radiology.
Well, it looks like Alfayo's on.
Oh, Alfayo is on. Great. Hey, Alfayo.
Hi, Willa.
How are you?
I'm okay. Sorry, I was trying to fix my computer so that I can also use mine, but now it's working fine.
Okay, great. Congratulations. So we were just going forward with the call. We have discussed there are several agendas if you look at the wiki page. Do you have the wiki up with you?
Yes.
Yeah, so we were discussing about the Mozilla registration form. I have some notes. I'll put the notes later on. Then you will see them, I think, and we can discuss later on if you want. And now we want to discuss about the other agenda. One of them is we have the agenda number 2 is status of oncology module and the way forward. So there are a lot of things going on here, and they just wanted us to get the feel of what's going on. So this is your baby, and we're waiting for you to tell us. Alfayo, you still there?
I think he's on mute.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, right. Yeah, so Alfayo, yeah, what can you tell us about the status of oncology? What's going on with oncology? I just see a lot of emails going on. Some is saying things are working fine, and someone else comes and says, okay, you know what, things are not working. I mean, what's going on? Have you done the verification testing or anything?
Yeah, for oncology, what's happening is that by yesterday it was not working, but today it's working. Basically, we did the identification last week, and one of the things that's happening, I think, is that. So basically, once I created that new patient, I tried actually using our form that we had created earlier. They were not working, but when I logged in as an oncology nurse, I was able to submit at least the the initial encounter form for the oncology and also the hemophilia. So I think for now, the oncology is okay. And having looked at the issue that you raised, I think mostly it is fixed. So it's me and Griffin to work together to at least continue testing and then complete this.
Alpha, you are breaking up.
Basically, I was saying we worked. The problem that we had before was actually related to data. Did you get that?
No, I didn't. You're on and off.
I think something wrong with the connection.
Yeah, his connection, I think, because Simon.
No, actually, even us, we got kicked out and got back in.
You did? I wasn't kicked out.
I left and come back, and Sarah left and come back.
Oh, okay.
I left and come back.
Yeah, Alpha also left and come back, but I was still. I think I didn't leave.
So do you get up to that point where I said the de-identification might have affected the data that we had? So if you create a new patient, it works fine.
Okay. Okay, so basically it is working fine, and you don't have any. So basically, actually, what you wanted us to understand and about this oncology, because it seems like okay, Sam is saying things are working just okay, and when Griffin comes and reporting back, it's like okay, I tried this, it's not working. It's kind of it's back and forth. It's just going on like that. So I just wanted us to be in a position where we can say this is what is going on with the module. So we should be able to verify that everything is either working or if it is half working, whatever it is, we should be able to say exactly what is happening with the oncology module. And you just said that. So it is great if you can send a feedback, because there is that email thread that is tracking all the things and just verifying that okay, features or things like 1, 2, 3, or maybe you can even report according to the ticket A, B, and C have been fixed and things are working as expected, but we have issues here, there, and there. That would be very awesome for us. It will be clearing a lot of things that are not very clear right now, because the management doesn't really know what is the status when you have all this kind of conflicting information. It is working, it's not working. It's not really a very good picture. So Alpha, maybe you should help us doing that by sending that email and just verifying whatever is working, and what is not working, you just mention it and you say what is not working. It will be very helpful. Do you hear me, Alpha?
Yes, I did. Actually, I sent an email regarding that, and I will update. Actually, I sent an email a few before the call.
Okay. And and updating the tickets. Sam actually is not very fond of updating the tickets, so maybe we should help him, I guess, because they are our tickets anyway. So we are the ones who will be having troubles when we are looking at the tickets and we don't know what's going on with them. Okay, thank you for that. We appreciate that. Yeah, so we have remote form entry. I've seen what you have been doing there via IRC and the tickets, and it is great. So basically, you've created another another web page that is used to manage the archive, like viewing, right, Alpha?
Yes, basically, what we are saying is the data that you are downloading from the one that you are processed, we are keeping a copy so that you are able to re-export it to any other, because essentially when you process, you don't have access to ability to export. So one of the things that they had raised was that the data was too much. But looking at the test, seems like the issue is more likely to be in terms of the return data, because even on my local server, the return data is too much. I haven't actually been able to figure out, to pinpoint and say it is the number of files that have been queued, because 1,000 forms. Then for some reason they will be processed, and then you'll have to like pick the archives. But I haven't seen that happening.
Okay, but are you saying are you having trouble figuring that out, or you have it? You just have to. You just need some time and you'll figure out what is going on. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I just need some time. Basically, I know, having tested the module, I know what is happening. I have seen how I have actually created that page. What I'm just trying to do is, can we reproduce the problem that they are experiencing in terms of pages, 2,000 forms. Basically, I wanted just to copy the forms and put in the queue, and then see process. Then I'll have the copies and then try to download. But basically, from looking, would be happening, unless we just say we limit the number of files that can be downloaded to maybe 1,000 or 500. So maybe we create, if you have more than 1,000 files in the queue, we just group them into maybe 500 or 2,000 or 1,500, depending on how much we think can be sufficiently handled by the module without it having to have the problem of maybe trying to reprocess or something.
Okay. Yeah. So that's great. That's great. So what I think is, because you're still figuring out, you're trying to figure out what is going on. Yeah, you just go ahead and try to see what exactly is the problem. And I think you'll find out what the problem is, and you'll find out the solution to fix that problem. So at this point, I think you just keep on doing that, and then I hope we'll be in a good position. By next week, we shouldn't be discussing about RFE again. I hope so, right?
Yeah, that's fine. Actually, for now, I am very comfortable with that, and I think I now know most of what I didn't know. I never knew a number of things, but now I know. I have really.
Yeah. So there's another thing I just remembered. What about that query thing? Did you see the query, and is it fine now? Our connection is not
Basically,
too bad.
I did. When I looked at the queries, when I looked at the page that you gave me, I did do monitoring using like in that there is like what they were saying where I tailed that, but I didn't see the query specifically coming from the form and use the process list. I was able to see other queries, but I didn't see the query that is coming from form entry.
Oh.
So that's maybe we need to look at.
Okay, we'll do a one-on-one at some, I don't know, maybe tomorrow, and then we'll see how we can see that query. You should be able to see the query. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, maybe there's something wrong somewhere. But yeah, we can sit together via Hangout and see how we can reproduce the problem, and we'll get the solution to the query. We should be able to see the query. So okay, thank you. Okay, radiology result error. Yeah, next up, we're going to the next agenda item. It is radiology result error investigation and way forward. Oh, this was copied from last week. So I did this week, and I just figured out I didn't actually figure out what the problem is. I just instead changed it from using the old module. I decided to use the new module, and I figured out the way of submitting the HL7. And I could do that. I also sent an email to Mark Colley, the one with this problem. He hasn't yet responded back to me, but I think it will just be fine. So this one is not. It shouldn't even be here. It was just coming from. Yeah, maybe it's just as information to the team. This one is fixed, so it's not an issue anymore. The next one is Hub0 external database setup. So basically, this week you've been working with the AC and team who have the Hub instance. It is right there. Some people have been able to register. I think, Eda, did you receive your email yet?
No, still haven't got it.
Ah, okay.
So maybe the email notification is not active.
Yeah, but I think the other people received their emails. Alpha, did you receive your email when you registered on the Hub?
I received in the spam folder.
In spam?
Yeah,
Okay, let's look at my spam folder.
That's a very good point. Yeah, try to check the spam folder. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, so the Hub is there, and there are some data views that have been created, and you can try to see those views yourself. You can play around and see the views and see the data in there. I haven't confirmed where they got the data from yet, but I'll confirm with them. I think today I'm still working with, I'm still playing around within the Hub itself and see how I can configure so that we can connect to the external database. This is more of a technical thing. Some people might be very very fond of this kind of discussion. But yeah, so we are trying to connect to an external database so that we can pull information from the data sets created by Jonathan and view them using the Hub. But that hasn't happened yet. But the Hub is there. The configuration has been done by the team, by the AC and our team, thanks to them. That was very helpful. And what we just need is to figure out the way of connecting that database and get the views from an external database. But even before that, you can still see the views that you can say the placeholder views or example views that are already on the Hub. So you're welcome, all of you guys, to go and explore so that you can. It's easy if you figure out or discover a problem to fix it before we tell the other people, the providers, okay, we have the Hub, you can use it. So guys, we are asking you to do that. Just go to the Hub, register yourself. It's easy to register. You get your password via your email. If you don't see your email, maybe go to your spam folder, and then that's it. You'll get your username, password. Go to the Hub and explore around. Yeah, that's all about the Hub. SMS gateway progress. Bonnie, what is the status of our VM? We need that VM. It is, today is Wednesday. It was supposed to be Thursday, right? Bonnie, do you have any information about the status of the VM? Is Bonnie here? Yeah, Bonnie is here. Is he? I don't know if he's hearing what I'm saying.
Basically,
Hey,
what? Okay.
Yeah, Alpha, you can answer for him. It's okay.
What I said there was that
not yet.
the system admins were having problem with they were having problems with the VM in general.
Yeah, okay. Alpha.
So
Alpha. Okay, there is a problem. I'm sorry, I'm cutting you, but I think it's because the important thing for now is for us to be able to test that system. Now we have a problem on the VM. Is there a way? Can you talk to maybe Miencha and see if there's any other way you can get the VM? We don't have to get it in a way that is expected way, like a dedicated VM in a very dedicated VM machine, but just some way of getting a machine where we can connect and test the system before the end of this week. It will be very helpful because the way I see things, it is possible for tomorrow for the VM not to be ready, even for tomorrow, because the VM machine is not up yet and we still have problems on the VM machine. And if that is not up, it means we're not going to get the instance. So do you think there's any way, or maybe you can communicate with me and see if there's any way we can get a VM so that we can just test the system before the end of this week?
I for some reason I'm able to access to the LAC VM server. So I don't know if there's a different reason why the VM, we cannot set up the VM.
The LAC VM server, right?
Yeah, it's working and accessible.
Okay, interesting. Okay, that's the good news. Maybe I think I'll talk to Jonathan and see if we can use his VM just to do the testing of this system. Maybe you can try to use his VM. Let me see if I can access his VM, and then we can try to use his instead. So Alpha, do you think you can? Okay, I'm just asking if it is possible for you to communicate with me and see if it is possible to get a VM before tomorrow morning. Okay, you'll talk to him. Yeah, I see the chat. I wasn't looking at the chat. Well, even the Jonathan's VM is also up. We should be able to get a VM. What's going on? I don't know what's going on. The last item on the agenda is the FCT 297. Sarah, do you still think you want to talk about that?
I'd love an update.
I'm sorry, what?
I'd love an update.
You have an update?
I would like an update, please.
Okay, you like an update. Oh, for this, yeah. So, well, Alpha, do you have an update for this thing? The drug ID in HTML forms. HTML forms, yeah.
Now what happened? No. The last update is the one that I provided, where I just got up to the point where I noticed that it was searching. But the next section was to go through the HTML form entry module and actually fix that problem. I haven't done that. Basically, I think I should be able to do it before the rollout, because during the discussion that we had yesterday, it was agreed that I think the rollout will take place at least after about 2 weeks. So I think within that time I will have fixed that. It shouldn't be a hard thing, but I haven't actually, since the update I provided, I haven't had time to look at it again.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right. There is something here. I think it should be an agenda, but it is in discussion. It is PCS Mod 40. Alpha, I think you're the one dealing with PCS Mod 40.
Yeah, basically what I provided on that ticket was that there is data that is randomly actually not making it to production. The data is sent via the math, but didn't make it.
Did you get the idea of how much percentage is not making into the MRS? Is it more than 50%, less than 20%, 10%? Alpha? Okay. Alpha is still there? All right. No, I was asking, do you have an idea of the amount of data that is not making into AMRS from meth? Could it be, can you specify that in terms of percentages? Even the estimate, like can you say it's 10% or 5%, 20? Okay, not sure. I'm asking that because I want us to I mean, according to, if you look at the amount of other things we have to do, if it is only maybe less than 5% or less than 2%, then I wouldn't worry about that now. I'll just put it aside until after some time. But if you are telling me that, okay, it's about 30%, more than 30% of the data is not going in, then that is a serious problem. That's why I'm asking about that. Okay, great. Thank you. A or B? Ed, I think you have A or B.
Yeah, I just wonder if about just to share like a brief overview how PHCT handle registration form. Do they keep a registration form in the encounter table, or just simply create a new patient record? It'll be good to know.
Okay, basically, Ed, okay, let me go ahead. Basically, what happens, Ada, is that the XML form that we create from the ODK has the information, and before we create the patient, we just check whether the patient exists or not. So the ODK does the creation of the patients.
Yeah. So Alvaro, is it correct that so let's say that the XML form come in to the system and then to check whether existing patient record is there or not. If it's not, it will go ahead and create a new patient record. Is that correct? And then there's no registration and encounter is created. It simply creates a new patient record. Okay, thanks for confirming. So I think it's clear now, Willa.
Yeah, it is.
Thanks, Abel.
Okay. Okay, guys, looks like we are done. Thanks everybody for attending the call, participating. Your input is highly appreciated and valued. See you again next week. Bye-bye. See you on cyberspace.
It sounds like you're running for office, Willa.
What?
It sounds like you're a politician.
Thanks, Willa. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.